friends, Winston here, the Find Your Flow guy with findyourflow.tv, and in today's episode we are going to be talking about some music, we're going to be talking about some rhythm, and we are going to be doing some rhythms ourselves and getting into a flow state. And I'm really excited to share this particular rhythm with you. This is one that I learned while I was in college. And so I got to study music while I was in college, and I did 2 years, 2.5, actually maybe like 3 years at community college. It took me a while to figure out how to get out of community college, and actually I wouldn't have if it wasn't for my beautiful wife, a girl I met in community college who helped me get out of there, but that's another story. So when I got to study music, I got to take an African drumming class, and it was really amazing. I learned a lot about African drumming and the culture and how different songs are used for different ceremonies, and everything throughout the day has some kind of musical element to it in African culture. And as a musician, one of the things that's really fun with a lot of African rhythms is that there's an underlying polyrhythm. So there's a triplet feature to a lot of these rhythms, and so what that sounds like, what that means is that for there can be a swing to it in a sense, and so it's a lot of fun. So what we're going to be starting with is left foot. We're going to start each time on our left foot. Okay, so whenever I say start, we're going to take our first step with our left foot. Okay, so we're going to start, and we're going to just keep a nice steady tempo. So I'm going to count us off on 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, and we're just going to keep that going. And as we go through this exercise today, we're going to be adding different layers of complexity. And maybe just the marching or just the walking is enough. That's okay. And you can be standing up. I'm sitting down so I can fit in the in the camera here. But we want to be able to really get this going in our whole body. Okay, it's not just the feet; it's the whole body. We're feeling it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and that makes it easier. And if you're standing, you can really get into it, and you'll notice that I don't have to think about the marching. If my body's already moving, I'm just going, I can kind of just get into it. That's the idea. That's the flow state, right? Getting to the point where the mind just, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, it's been a lot of years since I've done this, and I'm definitely not a pro, but that's one reason I wanted to do this, because I need to remind myself, I want to practice, and I want to share it. You know, what's the point of learning this stuff if I don't bring it out into the world? So, check it out. So, the basic rhythm, again, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So those first two claps, first clap is on the beat, second clap is off the beat. So 1 and... Okay, 3, 4, 1, and. So the next one is in between beats 2 and 3, and hopefully I will take, at some point I'll be improving this particular video. This is just a let's get it done and share it. Ideally, I'll be also showing some visuals that will show you what it looks like written out musically, and that can give you a nice visual idea of how the beats actually fit together, where they land. So it just sounds like this. Try it. 1 and 3. So beat 3 and the clap are together. 1 and 2 and. So after beat 2, 1 and. So 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1 and 2, 4. So now, that's the basic beat, okay? Now the fun part is when we start to subdivide it. So subdividing means we're taking, again, we're working with polyrhythms. Poly means more than one, right? And rhythm is when we start, the frequencies that we're starting to layer on top, right? What is the layers here? So the first layer is simple 4 on the floor. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then we're layering this. Now this, as I mentioned before, this is actually, it's a triple time beat, and that's why it doesn't layer quite so evenly over this. And so what I'm gonna do this time is I'm gonna start to count. So I'm gonna keep those 2 beats going. I'm gonna keep my 4 on the floor going, and I'm gonna keep my rhythm here, first clave or first little rhythmic chant here going. And I'm going to start to count the different levels of subdivision that are happening, okay? And so this took, again, this was a really involved class, really amazing and powerful at Cal, UC Berkeley, if you ever get the chance. Professor there, really amazing, really great experience. So, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna count. So first I'm gonna count the whole note. So that's just 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm gonna count half notes. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I'm gonna count triplets. No, quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then threes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 over 4. And then there's the 3 against 4 starting on the and of beat 1. Some of you, I know this makes no sense whatsoever, but some of you, this might be pretty cool. So instead of counting, starting on 1, 1, 2, I'm going to count on the and. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's starting the 3 count on the and of beat 1. And then I'm also going to be doing, like I said, chord notes. And then I'm going to be doing 6 against 4. And so that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Right? And then 6 starting on the and of 1. So that instead of sounding 1, 2, 3, 4. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll have to work up to that one. And then I'll be doing 8 and finally 8th notes, and then finally 16th notes. And that's going to sound like 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a, okay? So the goal here, the game, is to go up as many levels, do as many subdivisions as we can. It takes a lot of practice, at least for me it did. And so, and I haven't practiced in a long time, so I'm probably gonna wreck it. But again, here we go. Let's just go for it. And then if people like it, then I can do more videos breaking down each level and how you count each subdivision. So here we go. Let's see if we can do this, if I can do this. Let's see. 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I realize now you probably can't hear my stomping, which might make it not as good as it could be. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna go slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Threes are hard. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. 1. The off threes are even harder. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. Keep switching the beat on my hands. It's no good. I'm out of practice, friends. All right. I'm gonna skip to fours. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, okay. Sixes, all right. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, the eights. One and two and two. You know what, friend? I'm gonna come back. I'm not gonna sit here and embarrass myself. I got up to sixes. Sixes on, we're okay. Sixes off the beat, not so good. And eights right now with the trash can and the pressure putting on myself here. Not there yet. I'm gonna have to practice. It's been a while. It's been a long while. This just popped in my head this morning. It's like, man, I gotta share this. This is good stuff. Now, while I got your attention, and hopefully that, I don't know if you can hear all that noise going in the background. So here's the other fun thing about rhythm. So rhythm is life, right? We know that things have a frequency. We hear that a lot sometimes, that everything vibrates. Everything is made up of these atoms, these small atoms, and they all have frequencies for the speed that something spins around something else, right? Electrons, protons are spinning around the nucleus, and you know, then we've got these things that bond together and they form these bigger and bigger pieces and things, and all these things are vibrating at different rates, different frequencies. And so in music, when we look at frequencies, we understand that there are fundamental tones. So there's the tone that is at the center of our piece of music generally is what we call the fundamental. Now this is totally not in tune, and I don't expect you to be able to actually even hear this, but let's pretend that's an E. Okay, E, it's probably not, but we're gonna pretend. And so if I play this note, this is our fundamental tone. Okay, it's vibrating at whatever frequency E is. And that is going to be the main frequency of this, the vibration of this string. When I pluck it, you can see it vibrates back and forth, right? And that disrupts the air molecules, and those go and they hit our eardrum, the tympanic membrane, which vibrates, and that little anvil hammer then hits, and there's a little there's liquid in our cochlea, and that as the different frequencies, depending on the frequency, the speed of the, if I go here, it's literally twice as fast. If I play the same E, right? Twice the frequency, twice the rate of vibration. Okay, now rhythm is what a lot of people maybe didn't realize, is that frequency, is that harmony and rhythm are the same thing at different frequencies, different rates of speed. So if I'm going like this, if I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on top of that I'm piling 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that is two different frequencies. And if I speed it up, eventually it would start to sound, even if I just had one, sorry, I'm a little all over the place. If I had one frequency, one, right? And I speed it up, eventually I'd get so fast that it would just sound like a tone. La, E, E, right? That would be there. And even my vocal cords are really just, they are literally like strings, right? And my diaphragm pushes air through these vibrating flaps, and that creates, along with my mouth and all this stuff, but that creates the actual ha sound. Ha, if I want to sing up here, I actually vibrate twice as fast as if I'm vibrating here, and if I'm vibrating down here, that low E, right? When I'm singing, when you are singing, friend, you are literally becoming the sound box. This is an electric guitar, but on an acoustic guitar, the reason it has a circular hole and is empty, it allows more air to vibrate the instrument, and that resonates more air, which we perceive and feel as loud, right? Is volume. So the more air that we can displace, that is the higher the volume. And the more we experience that, potentially, even if we have loud bass or loud frequencies, we can feel that on with our physical sensors as well, the displacement of the air molecules. So why is this all important? Well, when we are talking about rhythm, we're talking about the base level frequencies of us actually pounding out a beat, right? Boom, boom, boom. Now, when we start layering harmony or singing vocals, that is the same thing at a double or quadruple or different mathematic ratios, right? Each of these is a mathematical ratio. If you remember, the Greeks really figured this out. I have this string here, and the distance of this string is from here to here. If I play it, depending on, of course, how tight I have it wound, but I can tune it so that the frequency, the number of times it goes back and forth within a set time within our linear time measurements, that becomes what we call the pitch or the frequency, right? A440 is the standard tuning that we have all agreed on across the world for the most part. Wasn't always that way, and that's important also. To understand that it is not, A440 is non-absolute. It is a man-made subjective pitch that we all eventually tune our instruments to. That is important, and probably becoming more and more important by the day, because of understanding that the fundamental frequency of Earth is not in perfect alignment with A440 in our whole tuning system, which fundamentally puts us out of tune with our planet. Okay, friends? So what does that mean? That means, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole yet, but, and especially because I got to keep this video short enough I can actually upload it. So let's see here. So quick things. Well, I think I'll keep riffing on this in future videos. I love this stuff. This is where it's at. So, so we got this E string, right? And if I want to make it vibrate twice as fast, I cut the distance in half. So the distance halfway between this and this is perfectly in half right here. You'll notice it's got an extra special little marking right there on my guitar. So I can cut the string perfectly in half, and now it's going to vibrate exactly twice as fast as it did before, because there's now twice as long as a distance for that energy to travel, right? If I go here, now it's so, excuse me, that's some basic fun stuff there. Okay, now how does this tie into the African rhythm stuff? When we start getting into the higher levels of harmony is rhythm. Harmony is rhythm. It is, if I have a note here, I still don't know if you can hear that, but let's say you can. And if I want to harmonize and add let's say a major third, ha, ha, la, da, major third. I can't do it at the same time if I'm singing, but hopefully you can hear that. Ha, ha, 3, and I could even add a fifth, 3, 1. Those two together, make a triad, right? 3 notes together. Right? 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 3, 1. And that gives us what we perceive. If I could do it all at the same time and hold those 3 notes, then you'd hear them all sounding good together. And what that really is, what you're really hearing, is polyrhythms. Okay, so this one's maybe in their mathematical ratios, and I'm gonna butcher them off the top of my head. It's but let's say a perfect fifth is 3-to-2 ratio, if I'm remembering. I might not. Look it up for yourself. 3-to-2 ratio means for every 2 wavelengths of this note, of this frequency, then if I have a 3 against 2, so that basic fundamental rhythm, if I've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm still doing 2 down here, but I'm layering 3 over the top of it, right? And so that's a 3-2 rhythm. That's a polyrhythm that I'm able to do in my body, and we can do that singing. We can do that singing. We can actually harmonize the frequencies of our bodies. If we are singing, we are harmonizing at that frequency of that tone. If I'm singing here, I am radiating, I'm vibrating, and also emanating, right? And when we do that together with multiple people, we are getting in sync, right? We are literally aligning ourselves, tuning ourselves, getting in tune with one another. And if we are also doing that with harmony, we are, it's beautiful, it's beautiful. In harmony, we have people doing different things, but they work together for the same thing, right? The same cause, but they are maybe saying it in different ways. Maybe they're going about it in a different way, and maybe there's even tension at parts, right? There's these things different in music. We have different, I don't know if you can hear that dominant 7th chord, right? Da 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 da, that flat 7, da 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 da, da da da. That 7th chord wants to go somewhere. There's tension there. Now you also notice, if you're a music fan, that this is used all the time in the blues. Right? Now, that tension comes out in the music. Weird, huh? Huh, friend? Right? Tension, resolution, harmony, dissonance. Crazy. Jazz music, African drumming music, these rhythms. A lot of people don't realize. I was reading, just looking up a gentleman named Daryl Davis. I'm going to try to find and get on the show. I want to interview this gentleman. And so I was curious. And you should look him up. About how he does what he does. And one thing he said was, he was talking with a guy who didn't realize that rock and roll. He had heard Jerry Lee Lewis playing. No, he heard Daryl Davis, a gentleman who's a jazz musician, playing, and he's like, "Oh wow, that's really great." It's a white guy saying this to a black guy, and he's like, "That music's really great. You know, the only person I've ever heard play music that good or like that was Jerry Lee Lewis." And you know, black guy Daryl's laughing to himself, probably, I would imagine, because it's like, well, that he took that from from African Americans, right? It came from jazz, from the blues, from you know, but then he realized, like, no, this guy really didn't know that. And it got me thinking, like, man, maybe people really don't know that rock and roll came from the blues, and the blues came from really, you know, Congo Square and the slaves. Let's be honest, right? When slavery was brought to the United States, and people needed a way to express themselves, they turned to music, and that music has that energy in it, right? And it has, of course, evolved over the years, and the music that we listen to and the music that we create, it can express that. And it can also, if we're listening to music, I guess one thing I want to share too is that we attract what we put out, right? And what we focus on expands. So when we're creating music in particular, there's, I think, a lot of therapy for us in sharing what has happened and what things have caused us to write the music. And I also, for me, myself, as I do that, and I also try to make sure that I'm writing about writing things into reality that I want to be in reality, right? And not reaffirming what I see, because then that creates that feedback loop of I'm seeing something, I'm talking about it, and now because I'm talking about it, I'm seeing more of it, right? And remember, there's a delay with the way, like law of attraction, the secret stuff, right? There's a delay between what I want and what I'm saying and the energy I'm putting out there, and then seeing that change in physical reality, in my physical environment. There's a delay there, right? That's the creation process from thought. The creation of thought is instantaneously. The creation in our physical experience environment is, there's that gap, right? That delay. And so in order to have that quantum leap, we need to start with the end in mind with whatever it is that we want, right? And I would advise that you get very clear and write that down as an affirmation, what you want and not what you don't want. Big difference. What you want, not what you don't want. I don't want to, put that weight back on. That would be a horrible affirmation, because what I'm affirming, I'm saying the thing in the sentence that I don't want. So instead I would say, I love growing healthier and healthier each day and being more and more active each day. I'm affirming what I do want for myself, and I would write a song that affirms that for me. And some people out there might resonate with that song. If I play this note, E, what you can't see or hear, because it's just not a good acoustic setup, is that the other E, which is an octave higher, would also start vibrating in sympathy with the vibrations of this note. So listen, I'm not touching the other note, just this note, but look what happens. Can you hear it? All the harmonics and frequencies that resonate in harmony with this fundamental frequency also get activated. Those that do not resonate with this fundamental frequency do not get activated. They do not get triggered. Fascinating, huh? Isn't that crazy? So we could send out a fundamental frequency, a vibration, powerful, invisible, right? Airwaves are invisible, yet they work. They're a real thing. Microwaves, UV rays, we got rays all through us all the time. Some of these frequencies can be tuned into using different tools, right? We have radio receivers. We have TV antennas. We have cable antennas. We have Wi-Fi. We have this. We have all these different frequencies. Wouldn't it be cool if we had some kind of antenna frequency that we could use as individuals, no matter where we were, even if we were separated physically, that we could still tap into some kind of field, some baseline frequency that would resonate at some kind of frequency level that would allow us to harmonize or resonate in sympathy with it, expand it, more gain, more volume, bigger, stronger, powerful signal. Might be kind of cool. So anyway, I digress, friend. I got to go to work. So I had a lot of fun. I don't know if you did, or if anybody's still watching. Hopefully you are. If you found this at all interesting, and if there's anything of value, please let me know. Please share it. Please put comments, constructive comments, in the thing below. I want to make this for kids and people of all ages, so please keep it family friendly, PG, and spread the word. If there's things that you feel like I could talk more about, then please let me know. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Take care, be safe, and until next time, my friends, be flowing.